Okay, this is going to be it's pretty basic in FTD. This is a management PC. This is a client PC, external connection that's out to the internet. So let's look at, the point of this. I want to do SSL decryption on web traffic passing through the FTD. So here's how I'm going to be doing that. So open full screen. You're probably going to start at a screen looking like this. You can see some stuff has been configured. I just created a static route and basic internet stuff. So pretty much all your stuff is going to be in policies. This is a trust rule. We're going to have to get into that later, but let's zoom out a little bit so we can actually see the stuff on the screen. I think 90 is the sweet spot here. Let's add a rule before this. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. So SSL decryption, go to this policy, enable SSL decryption. We're creating a new internal certificate authority and just enabling this. Let's create an SSL rule. So let's make this pretty wide open. So the inside zone to the outside zone. Destination port, let's just do HTTPS. Okay. And there are applications you can do. You can make things real specific. For example, YouTube is an application you can filter by. So if you want to only decrypt YouTube, you can. URL categories, for example. I don't have that licensed here right now for URL categories, so I'd have to do it by app. So say I want to decrypt only a certain type of app. You could do that there. I'm not going to get into all of that. Advanced, you can write rules for this. And let's just call this basic decrypt rule. And okay, let's create it. All right, default action, do not decrypt, but if it hits this SSL rule, we should see that traffic. Now, there's no way to do a packet tracer here, but we can start out by testing this client PC. That's just chase. Now let's go somewhere random. I don't know, Wikipedia is fine. But as we can see, this is not getting hit, right? Because the website identity, we're seeing I don't know how to close this now, but this is signed by wikipedia.org. So well, this is strange. I'm gonna have to reboot Firefox. This is CML, so it's getting a little weird, but just completely restart that. All right, but so we have inside zone, outside zone. There are a lot of troubleshooting tools you can do. Ping, obviously one of them. Packet tracer is one of them, but let's see monitoring, and we should see uh, destinations. These are the destinations, SSL decryption. As we can see, no SSL decryption is happening because this is, I'm pretty sure that's because this is a trust. If I change it to allow, oh, that's stupid of me. The reason it didn't work is because the changes aren't deployed. So every time you make changes, you then have to deploy them. So if you don't deploy your changes, like I just didn't deploy the changes, it won't work, right? So that's something you have to remember. This deployment is going to take a little bit. I'm running on CML. I don't have, it's not super snappy, to be completely honest. Does FDM not have a progress bar? But I guess while this is deploying, there are lots of different types of things you can do. For example, if your basic actions do not decrypt, this will only, so, excuse me, if your basic actions do not decrypt, only HTTPS traffic will be decrypted. You can change this to, well, first, yeah, we should probably, or no, not there, but obviously you can specify this more, and you can create exclusions to this, or like identity rules. So for example, your action could be block or do not decrypt. For example, let's take inside zone to outside zone URLs. Let's add a static URL. Or can I not add a static URL? Is this only URL categories? That's well, let's see if chase.com is an application. I don't think it would be, but I don't know if this actually is chase.com. Let's do something a little more obvious like YouTube. Okay, so this should do not decrypt. Let's say exempt YouTube. And of course, this does need to be higher than the other one. So now we have, as you can see, YouTube being exempted, and then all other HTTPS traffic's getting decrypted. So the previous deployment has passed. Now if we go to this guy, and we go to something like chase.com, it's going to take a little bit to load. I hope the networking just works. And as you see, we have a security risk ahead. That's because I did not put the certificate as trusted. So if we go to advanced, accept risk, and continue, we can see connections not secure. Let me go back and quickly deploy this. Okay, so that's in the queue. So if we go to connection not secure, we should be able to go away. I know it's full screen. More information. Now it's going to do this again, but our certificate is firepower. And that is what we just created. Now, can I, oh, that closed the entire thing. Not quite what I was going for. But if we open up VNC, full screen this, I don't know. It's a strange image. I might have to stop and restart it again, just to get stuff back. And then if we go back to this guy, we can check if the deployment's finished yet. So the deployment's still going, and so I just need to ramble for a little bit to fill the dead air. But this is another, just a way you can limit what the SSL is doing. And then if we go to, I'm not actually going to deploy this rule, but say we want to block old encryption standards, we could go to advanced and take away stuff like, oh, I don't want these versions of stuff. Okay, now TLS 1.3 is the only version. But let's add some legacy support. Let's block self-signed certs and invalid certs. So this is just maybe to protect some people from themselves. And of course the action would have to be block users. You'd have to create an identity policy and tie this to an AD or something. This also might be locked by license, although I don't think it should be. Logging, you can log at the end of the connection. These other two rules don't have logging on them, and you can tell by this little guy being grayed out. And I think that means the deployment's done. Yes. So let's see if it worked. So chase.com. Let's go to youtube.com to see if the certificate's good. As we can see, the certificate is good. And then let's go back to Wikipedia. I don't know why it's not auto-completed, but not secure. So that's just the basics of SSL encryption, or SSL decryption rather.